Welcome to episode 5 of Your Creepiest Corner. Today we have with us
Jessie Jade Churchill.
And Jessie is, well, you're a very artistic person.
I try.
Yeah. Maybe you can explain what you do within horror?
I am a costume designer, among other things within the costume department. In my day job regular world things, I do breakdown and building, which is basically just taking pretty new things and making them not that anymore.
Very important in horror.
Yes, very important in horror. And then I work with Luchagor often, which I'm sure you guys have heard of before. And I've worked with Off-World Pictures.
Yeah.
That's what you guys are called, right?
That's Carolyn and Jordan's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the indie world, designing basically means you do everything. So coming up with concepts, coming up with how set life is going to work for the costuming team, if you're lucky enough to have a team, doing breakdown, building things, lots and lots of building things.
Yeah.
Doing basically all the creative development in the costuming world, and then working really closely with the makeup team, usually in the special effects team, to figure out how the effects are going to work within the costume world. Usually costumes kind of obscure a lot of things that you don't want, like seams and rigging and stuff, so that's really important as well.
I know you've got some pieces out actually, so maybe you can tell us a bit about them.
Sure.
So what's that one from?
This is from Luchagor Easter, so these are actually the Easter Bunny's ears, integral part, I guess, of that costume. The only surviving piece, the overalls that he was wearing, got completely demolished.
Oh, wow.
In the process, with all the goop and blood involved with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Most Luchagor things don't survive. Yeah. It's usually headpieces, like the one in the background there. So he wore those for Luchagor Easter. Carolyn actually helped us very much get them to blend seamlessly with his makeup and everything. She helped like airbrush and paint them so that it all looked like one cohesive thing.
Now we've got something very scaly in front of us.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite builds to do. It's clearly not obvious the scope of it lying in front of us, but it's actually part of a Lizard Queen costume from Punks vs. Lizards.
Oh yeah, that for those who don't know what Punks vs. Lizards is, it's a fake trailer Topher made years ago before Bad Cookie was around. It was super fun. I was still in school at the time, actually doing our final showcase. Whoa.
So this is like super in secret, sleeping overnight at the school, sleuthing, doing costuming. So yeah, we built this whole thing. This is just like a glove piece.
Yeah.
And then the corset piece, which actually had a 4-foot-long tail attached to it.
Whoa.
That Tristan wore as she was doing her final reveal, sexy dance as the queen on the stage. She didn't wear the glove for that because she was in makeup for 5 to 6 hours, I think.
Oh, wow.
So she needed use for digits, obviously.
Yeah. And then we have this lovely jacket.
Yeah, this is a more recent piece. So this is from Off-World Pictures, Time Heals No Wounds.
Yeah, which was also a Bad Cookie co-pro.
Right.
So.
And Luchagor
Yeah, they co-pro as well. Yeah.
I think as well.
So
just all of the good people in there. Our little anti-alien post-apocalyptic final reveal situation. It was super fun to work on.
Now, looking around your home, you've got a very spooky aesthetic. Can you think back to something that really got you interested into the more horrific side of life?
Yeah, I've been involved with horror for a long time. I actually got spooked away from it for a little bit. When I was a kid, I watched The Exorcist when I was 10 or 11 maybe, and it traumatized me. I was so terrified. Like,
oh wow.
We stayed in my friend's haunted house in her basement after we watched it, and I didn't sleep at all for like a week afterwards. And I was like, nope, never again. I love to look spooky, but spooky things are too much. but I loved doing haunts, and so I volunteered when I was in high school at one in Stave Falls, and then right after high school, right as soon as I graduated, I auditioned for Fright Nights, and I worked with them for 10 years in different facets of the department. Yeah. Super fun. Loving scaring people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just finished working there last year, and when I departed, I had been working in their themed attractions department doing costuming and office work and stuff.
What are some of your favorite things to build?
Yeah, so corsets, they are probably my favorite thing to build. I have been wanting to build them since I was a teenager and just learning how to sew, like on my dining room table, watching YouTube videos and stuff on how to do it. I just love that they're a mix between really structured, almost masculine restraint and extremely feminine shapes, and it's so easy to play on that within that kind of garment, and also armor in general. It's just so much fun. I just got off of a show that I am not allowed to talk about, but
okay.
We just did a bunch of armor building on it that was leather, and it was one of the most amazing learning experiences and team experiences that I've ever had. It was great, and I really hope to be able to do stuff like that in the future.
Now, since we're talking about wardrobe, costumes, maybe you could tell me, who are you wearing today?
I'm wearing me today. This is all, I guess not 100% Jessie, but the tunic, the belts, the leggings are all handmade by myself, finished yesterday. Yeah.
And what inspired you with this creation?
There's actually, goth stuff, vampires, and rice, all that good stuff, and historical garments, which are really fun. Like, just this really simple tunic can be obviously dressed up and elaborated on, but there's a specific designer on Instagram, I believe her tag is I Do Declare, and she does historically inspired, like, not costumes but outfits for alternative people that like to do that, and I was heavily inspired by her. She's incredible.
Who are some of the designers or costumers who inspire you?
I'm really bad with names, so I'm just gonna mention projects that they've worked on probably, but a lot of Instagram people. It's incredible the huge community that is formed because of the internet, and we can see so many things, like indie designers like I Do Declare, or I'm so bad with names of stuff. They are connected with another one that does more historical reproduction type things, and independent artists that do like printed t-shirts and stuff like that is really cool. But also the costume designer that worked on Crimson Peak with Guillermo del Toro.
Oh my gosh.
Like, just, I literally had to pause that movie the first couple times I watched it just to like cry over how beautiful and intricate those costumes are. It's, every detail is thought out, and I'm sure there's details that nobody ever sees that are just spectacular and drool worthy, and I teared up.
So now I follow you on Instagram. You are an amazing like visual artist as well. Did you go to school for that, or are you self-taught?
I'm self-taught art-wise. Actually, my mom is an artist, a visual artist. She does painting and drawing and everything. Basically, she has a jewelry company. She's incredible and a huge inspiration. So she helped teach me growing up, and then I just keep going. It's a great hobby to have, to keep my hands going and to keep those creative juices always going. But I did go to school for costuming, and they had a little bit of a sketching sort of class.
Yeah.
It was more just like to encourage more of what you had like the foundations that you already had in that program, which is great to have. It was a huge program, the Costuming for Stage and Screen program at Capilano.
And so with your art, what kind of inspires you?
I guess a little bit of everything. Life, doing little like animal drawings and stuff is great from photos, and looking at other artists' work. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of like the magical girl genre. So like Sailor Moon and like Steven Universe and cartoons and stuff, to keep it, you know, not in the horror genre. A little bubbly. And then horror movies, obviously. A huge inspiration.
So for people who want to see more of your work, how can they find you online?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Jessies Jade, and you can check out my IMDb page. My name is Jessie Jade Churchill, and I don't use Facebook very often, and my Twitter is full of sadness. So
isn't all of Twitter?
I think so. Twitter is just sadness, but Instagram is good. It's very visually appealing. I post a lot of art there, a lot of selfies, and I wear a lot of my own stuff too. So if you're looking for that kind of thing, check me out on Instagram.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show, and thank you for watching.